Thanks, Larry. Thanks, worship team. It's really nice to see Saya up here. That's a first, eh? Leading worship like that. It was awesome. It was great to see you. And Rochelle, thank you for doing such a great job this morning. It's a pleasure to have you up here and leading us today. A good break from the normal guy that does it, right? Between us, yeah, it's nice to, yeah, definitely. Well, it's great to be here today. I'm really excited about being here. It's been a while since I've been up on this platform. It's like I thought, I'm about to be reviewed, right, to find out if I'm keeping my job or if I need to search, and I'm not invited to speak. What's up with that? Right? It's like, oh man, just keep us on the edge. No, actually, we've been really, really busy this past summer. We've been enjoying our times up at Kakwa. Once again, just want to give a plug away for Kakwa and getting that history book that Pastor Ron let us know about a month ago. And that is I'm sure, a great resource that you guys will really enjoy. Camp Kakwa has literally become like a home away from home for us. We really enjoy it. We're going away for 2 weeks, a bit of vacation in that 2 weeks. I think 9 days of vacation over the next 2 weeks and a day or something like that. But in that 2 weeks, we're also serving up Camp Kakwa for another 5 days. Which we're really excited about. There's a new camp that's happening this year. Something that we've done in Camp Kakwa's history. We did a senior high camp, and for reasons, it was canceled for a number of years. And after the last 4 years that Paul Fletcher from over at Wainfleet BIC, he's been doing, what camp week was that called, hon? It wasn't as good as ours, but it was pretty good. It was called Blaze, wasn't it? Was there a week Blaze? And then we did Summit. So we thought after all these years of Paul doing Blaze and us doing Summit that we can maybe, get some of those kids that have grown up through that to come out to this week called Zenith. And so we're coming up with a new week. And we got Caleb and a few others. Palmer is going to be coming out, and we've got some of our kids from our Cornucopia Youth Ministry coming up for that, and we've got about 35 other kids coming up too. So it's going to be a great week. We're really looking forward to it. Once again, Becky and Hillary are going to be doing, what do they call your job? All I remember is you're the boss, all right? She's camp directing. Yeah. Nothing's basically changed from home to camp. Becky tells me what to do, I do it. So it's all good. But we're really excited about that. But more importantly, we are very excited just about being renewed. We're really excited about what's been happening here in Welland. I'm extremely excited about what's happening here in our morning service and seeing a lot of new faces this past year. It's been great to see you guys coming out and enjoying the morning service. And we're really excited once again, too, about what's happening at the Agora. If you were ever to come in and step in through the front doors over at the Park Theater, first of all, you'd be wowed just by the renovation that's happened there. And second of all, you'd be wowed about the number of new faces which are there, too. And we're really excited about how God has used Welland BIC to reach out beyond these walls, to reach into a new neighborhood, a new community of people, and to really try to effectively, once again, like we do here in the morning service, reach people with the message of Jesus Christ, just in a different forum. And it's been exciting. We're really excited. Last week, even though we've had a lull of the summer, we had 49 out last week, and we were still missing quite a few of our regulars. We're just really excited about seeing new faces every week and just being able to share the gospel story. It's been great. I'll just share one brief little, maybe a highlight of the Agora. For me, it started off probably about 9 months ago, and we had this guy come into the church that we went mountain biking with. And he came out to the church, to the Agora, and just called up and said, I remember mountain biking with you. Weren't you like a pastor or something? And I said, yeah, I am. And actually, when it came out with Royce and Ellery and I, and we said, he's like, I'm interested in going to church, but I'm not really a church kind of a guy. Maybe, do you have something or know of something? I said, yeah, come on out, check the Agora. So we came out and checked the Agora, and after about 3 months of coming, we found out that he was married and that his wife has been working in the Philippines. And she comes back, and she comes to the Agora her first day back after 3 months being away. She comes back and comes to the Agora with her husband. And about 4 months later, their children are coming out. So now they are one of our key families at the Agora. We're really excited about that, just to see 5 new faces that weren't going to church before and now coming on a regular basis. And we have many stories like that. And we're just excited about that because if it wasn't for you and your support about what's happening outside of these walls, it would never have happened. And we're just pumped about that. So thanks. Thanks again for your affirmation. And thanks just for your continued passion for reaching out to those who need to hear Jesus. That's just super exciting. Well, today we are talking about that. Today we are talking about a man that desperately, desperately needed God. A guy that was shackled down because of his issues that he had in life. He was so overwhelmed by sin and by evil that literally he was shackled to the ground. And so if you want to pull open for your Bibles, in your Bibles, to Luke chapter 8, we're going to go over this great story. We're actually going to read the whole thing. It's quite a large chunk, but I'm excited about reading this. This is a wild story. So let's go for it. Luke chapter 8, and we're going to go from 26 all the way down to 39. And you can follow along on the screen if you like. So they sailed to the region of the Gerasenes, which is across the lake from Galilee. When Jesus stepped ashore, he was met by a demon-possessed man from the town. Now, have you ever gone to a new town before? Anybody travel? Anybody travel? I think this is a normal sighting, right? You drive into a new town, and there's some demon-possessed dude yelling and screaming and tied up and running around basically naked. Is that a normal thing? Yeah, it's just a little freaky, isn't it? Just a little freaky. I think if I went up to, Camp Kakwa and was greeted by some person running around naked, screaming and, not looking so hot, this is going to be an interesting day, isn't it? Well, here's Jesus and his people. What's that? Yeah. So here we go. Oh, now I've lost my place. When Jesus stepped ashore, thank you. Yeah, 27. When Jesus stepped ashore, he was met by a demon-possessed man from the town. For a long time, this man had not worn clothes or lived in a house, but lived in the tombs. When he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell at his feet, shouting at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, don't torture me." For Jesus had commanded the evil spirit to come out of the man. Many times it had seized him, and though he was chained hand and foot and kept under guard, he had broken his chains and had been driven by the demon into solitary places. Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" "Legion," he replied, because many demons had gone into him. And they begged him repeatedly not to order them to go into the abyss. A large herd of pigs was feeding there on the hillside. The demons begged Jesus to let them go into them, and he gave them permission. When the demons came out of the man, they went into the pigs, and the herd rushed down the steep bank into the lake and was drowned. When those tending the pigs saw what had happened, they ran off and reported this in the town and the countryside. And the people went out to see what had happened. Now imagine this has happened to you. Imagine this is Welland. We went out to the cemetery, and there's a guy bound. He's got chains hanging off of his hands and his feet, and he's running around naked, and he's literally broken the chains off of the spots that we have bound him to. And now he is healed. What is your response? Run? Run. Who knows what's going to happen, right? So now he's been healed. What's going to happen? How are you going to feel about that? It's a miracle. Maybe we should take off our shirt, clothe the guy, right? Give him a bath. I don't know. Something to eat. Maybe we should rejoice. Now imagine if you were living in the town and you knew this guy was 4 blocks down and he's living in the cemetery. You know he's that strong that he's broken shackles. How are you going to feel before he's healed? Scared. Now, why are you going to feel scared, Linda? This guy just ain't right? He's the kind of guy you do not want to see crawling in your window late at night, right? This is a guy where you've closed your front door and literally locked it. He's strong enough to break shackles. Are you going to be a little nervous? You're going to be nervous, aren't you, living around this guy? Now look what happens with these people. Look what happened. We've got this scary dude living in your neighborhood. You don't know, you got your children walking down the street and you're saying, whatever you do not walk by that cemetery, right? This guy is a nuisance to the neighborhood. This guy is a fear in the neighborhood. This guy is scary to have around. When those tending the pigs, where are we? Verse 34, thank you. I could just look right at the screen. When those tending the pigs saw what had happened, they ran off and reported this in the town and the countryside. And the people went out to see what had happened. When they came to Jesus, they found the man from whom the demons had gone out sitting at Jesus' feet, dressed and in his right mind. And they were afraid. Those who had seen it told the people how the demon-possessed man had been cured. Then all the people of the region of the Gerasenes asked Jesus to leave. They asked him to leave because they were overcome with fear. So he got into the boat and he left. The man from whom the demons had gone out begged to go with him. But Jesus said to him right away, sent him away, saying, "Return home and tell how much God has done for you." So the man went away and told all over town how much Jesus had done for him. Now, I want to talk right off the bat, just the different views concerning spirits. Just two different views of concerning spirits. The first one is naturalism. Until very recently, most North Americans have denied that there is a spiritual realm. Until recently, if you thought that there was a spiritual realm, you would have, and you talked about spirits, and you talked about how spirits are working around us and stuff like that, you would have been seen as sort of been like out of your mind. I don't know. Have you ever gone through that, where if you're talking about mystical things, people like, yeah, right. As if that's ever really happened. Right? There's this sense of naturalism. The belief that there is no supernatural realm, or that everything that happens in nature can be explained by the laws of science. We've gone through this season where people have really felt like science can define everything. And that really, if you believed in the accounts of the supernatural events, you are simply primitive people resorting to superstition because they don't understand science. There was this guy named Gerald Gardner. Anybody know of him? Gerald Gardner. He was in 1959. He was an occult practitioner. He was actually said to be one of the ones that revived the sense of Wicca within North America. He brought back out this sense of Wicca movement in North America. But this is how he responded in 1959. He says, "I do not think anyone dared hint that there might be anything in witchcraft today without being laughed at." In 1965, Pennethorne Hughes, a British authority, said this: "Witchcraft is dying rapidly before the popular press, popular education, and the American way of life. Witchcraft, occult belief in Europe, is dead as a degenerate form of a primitive fertility belief. The practice is over." Now, people may not say it as clearly as night and day there, but I've talked to some where you talk about the spiritual realms, they look at you like you're crazy. Like everything can be defined by science. Now there's the other side of the story, which has been happening out really in the last 35 years. This sense of spiritism. Many people have gone from rejecting the existence of spirits to embracing a spiritistic, animistic belief in spirits. Spiritism and animism and witchcraft all subscribe to the view that the universe is alive with spirits and they can control or influence most of human existence. So we've gone through a season where people have really denied a sense of spirituality, a sense of spirits around us, a sense of spiritual warfare or demons or all those types of things, to now people are tapping into it. Take a look here on the next screen. We've got this TV show called Ghost Hunters. Has anybody ever seen Ghost Hunters before? Yeah, Ghost Hunters. You know, they've had shows of Ghost Hunters right here in Ontario. They had I forget what it's called. They went to the tunnel. What's the tunnel in St. Catharines? The screaming tunnel, right? That's what it's